Are we cooking? We are live. Amazing. Well, welcome everybody to another week, another live stream, all on the Green Chain. I'd like to welcome quite a new familiar face, but probably a very well-known face that you've seen on the timeline lately. Because Di, you've been just shipping, man. Like you've been absolutely cooking on not just the AI stuff on Fuel, but many other avenues. So yeah, maybe just before we kick things off and dive into the bulk of what the stream's all about, I think it would be important to maybe explain who you are, where you come from, and how you obviously got into Fuel. Just a quick intro. You're on mute, sir.
Oh, sorry. Thanks for the kind words, Ian. Likewise, same to you. I'm Dai. I work in the research team at Fuel. I joined Fuel more than 2 years ago now. It's been a while. I actually come from a front-end engineering background, and then I just happened to stumble upon crypto at some point in that journey. Uh, I met some really talented people at Developer DAO and Gitcoin, and they just kind of onboarded me to crypto, and I I basically helped them with front-end engineering while learning about crypto. And open source has been a core part of all of this all along the way, Ethereum as well, and that eventually led me to Fuel. Um, even at Fuel, for the last 2 years, I was part of the SDK team. I recently shifted to the research team to kind of uh, help on a broader front with more things. And yeah, I'm super excited about where we are, super excited about what Fuel and Ethereum have to offer this year.
Just a quick question. How many flights did you do in a row before you missed one yesterday?
138.
138 flights. Dude, where are you flying to? What the? Where are you going?
Uh,
That's insane.
but, I haven't traveled a lot in the last 7 months. Before that, for 2 years, I was traveling like every week, like
That's
everywhere.
insane.
Yeah.
That's insane. Well, hopefully the flight that you missed, you've caught, and you're not too jet lagged to maybe hint at a couple of things like alpha that we might be releasing. But let's dive into the bulk of this live stream. I think it's super exciting. The Fuel AI agent kit, everything to do with AI on Fuel. I think everybody's dying to know exactly what it is and what you can do with it. So yeah, I'll let you kind of take it away, and I might chime in for a few dumb questions. But yeah, excited to
Sure.
see what you've cooked.
Okay, I'll share my screen. Mm, um, Okay, awesome. So, Fuel Agent Kit. Um, as you can see, it's an NPM package just to start with, just to like give you a TLDR what it actually is. It's just an NPM package. It's an SDK which lets devs build agents on Fuel. Um, why another agent kit? Because there are already quite a few out there. There's one for Ethereum, I think, that Coinbase has created. There's one for Solana that Solana has created. Um, why another agent kit? Well, first of all, because we have a different virtual machine, so you inherently need uh, we have a different SDK. So you just need a different set of functions to do all the things that those other agent kits do. Like that's why Solana has a different one. That's why EVM has a different one. But even more importantly, it's because uh, and this is where we have designed the agent kit a bit differently than Solana and the Coinbase one, is that we don't want people to just build agents within Fuel or like be restricted within this ecosystem. We have built this agent kit in a way that lets you kind of connect the Fuel ecosystem with the projects that are already out there. Maybe this diagram kind of explains it in a better way. We have built all of these functionalities in the agent kit to to make sure that it can seamlessly integrate with existing integrations like Eliza. I'm sure you heard of that if you have been, well, like just online on CT or just,
Definitely. It's all
yeah,
over. Yeah.
yeah. So our GOAT is the cross-chain, a really interesting project, a cross-chain agent uh, framework, you can say, or a set of plugins that you can use to build cross-chain agents. So they have support for all of these different chains. Solana, EVM, Fuel is there, Aptos, anything you want. It's just a matter of you to like uh, on you how you decide to connect them. And then there's the last part where if someone has a really complex system of their own, if you have a really complex agents form where it's just bare metal, you have implemented everything from scratch, you can just import our LangChain tools and plug any functionality you want. Let's say you want to, I don't know, make the agent do a swap on Fuel, you can just import that, use it however you want. So that's something different in the design sense for this project. Solana and Coinbase are kind of restricted to those chains.
Yeah.
Uh, we aim to we try to go a different way.
So maybe just to kind of before we dive in like into the meat of it, like let's say I'm a normie developer, I'm coming in and I've like just entering Web3 and I'm going to start building on Fuel. What
Mhm.
does an AI agent kit mean to me? Like what is this like what is in like simple terms, what is this going to do for me? And why is this like beneficial?
Sure. I'll switch to this app for that. I think I can give you a better idea. So here's some code actually. This is actually all you'll need to have an AI agent. I mean, obviously this is not an like a really complex or anything useful, but I mean it will do something for you just off of your instruction, right? So as a dev, uh, if you want to build uh, an AI agent system, or like I explained in the last slide, if you have like this complex system of swarms, you have to use things like LangChain, you have to define tools, there are all of those different things. But if I just want to like get started and not want to rewrite, let's say, transfer functionality, I don't want to teach my AI how to do a transfer on Fuel. I don't want to teach my AI how to do a swap on Fuel or supply collateral on Swayland. That's where the agent kit comes in. We basically, these tools, they teach your AI, or kind of inform your AI is the better word for it. They inform your AI what it needs to do if it thinks it needs to do a swap on Fuel. These are a set of functions that you can reuse, your AI can reuse, and it can just do those things for you so that you can focus on the more, I guess, more of the business logic of your project that's specific to your project. All of these things are gonna stay the same across
Yeah.
projects. So it's an abstraction, essentially.
Yeah. That's amazing. It's kind of like a preset recipe for your cookbook and you just plug
Yeah,
it in and you make the things happen. Amazing. As you also,
exactly.
that's perfect explanation.
So, um, cool. Let's just keep going. Another reason, and a very important reason why we are working on this agent kit is to introduce the DeFi primitives that are only possible in Fuel and have them out there in the AI ecosystem. Because there are, depending on how familiar you are with Fuel, there are so many interesting DeFi primitives. This is just a screenshot of what a predicate looks like, which is predicates are super interesting. I think we have more time today to like go into them. But just to start with, I mean, we have predicates. Predicates enable native account abstraction. We have native assets, which is so much better than ERC20 on EVM. For example, you have to do two transactions each time you want to do a transfer of an ERC20 asset on Ethereum, or even if it's an NFT, the same thing. On Fuel, you do a full transaction less. It's just one transaction. And we also have batch transactions scripts. We'll go into more detail about all three of these if we have time. Uh, but currently, with the tooling that's there in the space, and also just generally the VMs that are popular out there, this all of this is not really possible. It's only really possible in Fuel, at least most of these things. Some other chains might have one or two of these things, but definitely not all of them. And that's where this agent kit comes in.
So maybe just like to pause on what predicates are. Do you have
Yeah.
like an Eli 5 explanation? I think you've mentioned this to me once before about like a treasure box, just to kind of explain
Yeah,
the function of what a predicate achieves.
sure. So I had maybe I can draw up something here. Let's see. Um,
Quick cast it
so
over here. Look at you go.
yeah, let's say this is like a treasure box. Think of it like as like a treasure chest, and that's what a predicate is. This treasure chest can have gold in real life, but that's money on Fuel. Like it can have any assets, can have NFTs, can have ETH, USDC, whatever you want. Let's just say, for example, it has 1,000 Fuel and 1,000 USDC. Quite a lot of money inside of it. Now, if you want to open a treasure chest in real life, you'll need a key for this. If you have the key, you can take whatever is inside of it and then you close it back. So now it's closed. The next time someone wants to open it, they need to have a key to it. This is how predicates work, essentially. But obviously they don't have a physical key, but what a predicate is, now I'll show you an example. If I have one, let me try find a really simple one. Give me a second. Trying to find the simplest one I can. Yeah, there we go. So if you look at, let's close this in. If you look at this predicate, as long as you provide the correct password, it will return true. And that's what predicates are. In the case of a treasure chest, it think of it like this. If you have the correct key, this treasure chest returns true, so you can open it. If you don't have the correct key, it's false. You can't access it. That's what predicates are. And this
Okay,
is a really simple one. It's just a
I see.
password. But this it can be a signature. That's where the powerful things come in. Like you can
Yeah,
verify who signed this, or if the transaction has some very specific things, you can build entire multi-sigs on top of this. I mean, that's what Baco is, right? So
that's
yeah,
insane. Cool.
and this
So
is
maybe
not,
just for everybody listening in, like the technical definition of a predicate on Fuel is basically like creating a condition under which a UTXO can be spent. But that
yeah,
exact example that Dai explained pretty much nails it.
yep,
Sorry, again, I just wanted everybody to understand that, and that's quite powerful because you're now teaching the AI that is using this agent kit to essentially use this in a way that's only done on Fuel, and this is like a very Fuel-based primitive that you can't find anywhere else.
yeah. And a very practical use case of this is how we have smart contract accounts for account abstraction on EVM. They are inherently more expensive. I'm actually writing something about this, so I'll discuss it there in like broad detail. But since it's using smart contract accounts, it's inherently using more storage, that's more gas, that's more transactions. You have to store things on chain all the time. It's not effective. Like account abstraction Uh, at the very base level, like you said, it's just verifying if a transaction is valid or not. And predicates are exactly that. Predicates are the most efficient implementation of account abstraction that we have right now. So
Bullish. Very
yeah,
bullish.
very bullish as well. So using the agent kit, uh, you have access to all of these parameters. We are integrating all of the top protocols on Fuel, so this will soon include Baco as well. Baco uses predicates to provide you with multi-sigs. So there's Baco, there's Spark, who have now rebranded to V12. Uh, so it's a fully on-chain order book. So your agents can trade on that order book. Uh, and there's scripts which we haven't even touched upon yet. So let's see how you want to go forward with this. Maybe I should touch upon scripts as well to kind of show what are the different things we can do.
Yeah, I think let's tickle the nerves, tickle the nerds with a little bit
Yeah,
of a
yeah,
deep level tech, dude.
yeah,
Let's do it.
yeah. So this is not related to the agent kit, by the way. This is just what the Fuel VM is capable of doing, which is not possible in the EVM for sure. Uh, it's very important for DeFi, as you'll soon see. Let's say you want to create something on V12, which is an on-chain order book, but you only have ETH to start with. Your agent has only some ETH to start with. Let's say it has, I don't know, 5 ETH. But eventually you want to land upon Fuel. Uh, but you don't want to just swap directly, because you can always do that on Mira. Like you can just uh, interact with the Mira contract. Mira is our AMM, by the way. You can swap things over there, which is also included in the agent kit. Yep, like this. Anyways, going back here. Let's say you want to do like some like complex strategy. I'm not exactly a DeFi expert or a regen, so I don't really know. Like this might be completely dumb. I'm just throwing things out there. Let's say you want to first swap this ETH for like some USDC. You want to get some USDC. Now you have this USDC. You want to take this USDC and trade it for some other asset, or like maybe lend this USDC. Let's say, let's add one more step to this actually. Let's lend or like add as collateral on Swayland, and you want to borrow some
Let's borrow green Trump.
green Trump. Green Trump. You borrowed some green Trump from Swayland, and you want to get to Fuel. And I don't know what's next in your strategy. I don't know. Let's you want to swap this out for Fuel? No, Fuel is where we want to get to. Again, ETH, let's say. And you found some arbitrage over here, and which
Yeah.
eventually lets you get more Fuel for your ETH than what you would get if you just did this. And
So,
now,
so like to simplify this, just so I understand your logic, is like you can essentially use scripts to basically find the best routing path for getting the asset that you want at a cheaper rate. Is that what you're saying? Or have I misunderstood you?
not exactly, because it still depends on you if like to find that. But what I was getting to was that scripts let you do this in a single transaction. All of
Okay.
this, yeah, all of this is just one single transaction. It's not gonna be like I do this transaction, then I do this transaction, I do this transaction, and somehow this fails, but I still have all of this. That won't be nice.
Yeah. hold on. This is pretty insane. So are you telling me that I can implement like an entire looping strategy with like pretty intense yields on fuel right now in a single transaction using scripts?
You can, yeah,
What? How's
yeah.
everybody? I'm really
But
finding this out now. That's insane.
I,
Okay.
yeah, so I'll show you an example of a script, a very basic script. Let's find something that we can look at. Um, no, this is not a good example as well. I'm just gonna have to dig into my GitHub here, or maybe my use script demo. Okay, so this is a very simple example. It's just two counter contracts. It just like, bumps the
Yeah.
number to
Yeah.
like one more.
Yeah.
It's essentially the same thing that we are doing here. Here it's real DeFi contracts. We are moving money around, but it's the steps are the same. Here I'm calling one contract. I'm incrementing the number by one. I'm reading that, and in this case, it can be, like I swapped. I want to see how much USDC I have, and if I don't have like a decent amount according to my strategy, I don't go ahead. Like I just stop the transaction there.
I see. I see. So you basically
Yeah.
you can also like within that script add certain parameters to meet conditions, and if that kind of breaks it, then it won't go ahead with it.
Yeah, it's just runnable. All of this is runnable on chain, so you can do like whatever you want. If this, do this. If not, do this. Stop,
Wow.
whatever you want. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
It's crazy.
So I can
Wow.
actually check if the function I called gave me the result I wanted. Only if I have that, I go ahead and then I go ahead, and that's where it ends. And I can run this again and again and again and again.
At like next to
That's
no cost because it's like basically free to transact on fuel. Shameless plug.
yeah. Oh yeah. It's just one transaction. All of this,
Wow.
all of this would take you at least for, or not even more than that, because if you want to swap on the EVM, you have to approve your token allowances. So you'll have to approve here, you have to approve here, here, and here. That's four more transactions. And there's four of these. That's eight transactions on the EVM. On fuel, that's one, which is pretty insane.
That's insane.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think like what are the opportunities like what are the other opportunities that you foresee this opening up? So like this was like a part of like a looping strategy that you can
Yeah.
run basically for next to nothing. I know there's been hype around DeFi and AI. I don't know how to pronounce like the new acronym. It's like it sounds like somebody saying Def and I, which is strange. Def AI or DeFi, or however you want to say it. But like maybe like what other primitives have you thought of, and maybe outside of DeFi, what other concepts are you seeing this agent kit bring to the fold within the Fuel ecosystem and the wider Web3 ecosystem?
One of the things that I had thought of was simplifying onboarding. And this is honestly a moonshot idea, uh, because the problem I see with onboarding right now, at least on Ethereum, and I have seen this for firsthand with some of the friends that I have onboarded. Let's say they won some USDC in a hackathon. One of my friends, he won 500 USDC in a hackathon, and he created an address. It was his first hackathon. This guy is like new to crypto. Uh,
Okay.
he created a wallet. He shared this wallet address with them. They just sent him USDC, and now he can't move that money around because he doesn't have gas. You, so you have money in your wallet, but you still aren't fully onboarded to be able to do anything really. He doesn't have an ENS. He doesn't have, like he doesn't know where to swap things out. Has no clue. And this is also inspired from something cool that Base did. I think
Yeah.
around the holidays they created this gift pack, but that was specifically for gifting. You can just uh gift your friends some assets and they can just redeem it. I kind of want to take it a step forward in the sense that if I want to onboard someone on chain, an agent can do all of these things for me. I just, as their friend or as a service, this can be a company as well, that I just give this agent 100 USDC or 50 USDC, can be the amount can be different, and it goes out, it sets up the account for me essentially. It creates a new account, uh, and this is where predicates can come in as well, by the way. This can, I don't know if you have used Fuse on Solana. They have these native multi-sig wallets where people can deposit personal funds and one of the keys is backed up to the cloud. All of that is
Yeah.
coming very soon to Fuel, like pass keys, email logins. And I think all of this can be combined really well with AI agents because then they can then uh, go and create these personal multi-sigs. So it's extra secure for a new user. They don't just lose their account. I mean, we can even make it so that one of the recovery keys is their friends for some time. Mm, Obviously, this has to be well thought out. Anyways, multi-sigs, they can buy a domain, like a domain on Fuel for them. They can deposit some amount of USDC, some Fuel, some ETH, maybe like an onboarding NFT, like the whatever
So like
NFT
like
different
it
ones.
sounds like what you're describing is like an onboarding preset. So it's like, oh cool, like you're
Yeah,
starting with Fuels, it's your first time. Would you like to have us set everything up for you? And then
yeah,
the AI agent basically just says, cool, you've now got this NFT, this username, based on like a prompt. So like let's say my name is Bruce Wayne, it'll give me the Bruce Wayne handle on Fuel. It'll
yeah.
help me like that's amazing. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
it just
insane, dude.
simplifies it. Yeah, it just simplifies it. So you don't have to worry about, like, even if in this example I just mentioned that it's a friend doing it for you, but think
Yeah.
of it even as someone trying to onboard to Fuel. They can just pay using their card. Hey, I have $15. Take my $15. Gonna pay using card, Apple Pay, whatever, and just set everything up for me. I just want to get started.
That's
And this
amazing.
can, yeah. And
Okay.
also, another thing that I'm trying to work on is bridging. Simply just simplify bridging from other chains onto Fuel, because I have talked to a lot of people who find that tech one of the best in the space. Predicates, scripts, they are always blown away by it. But uh, like you need funds on Fuel before you can like tinker with an AI agent on Fuel. So we are
Yeah.
thinking of adding just like let's say a swap function. We are thinking of adding a bridge function, so you can just bridge from whichever chain you are on and deposit that
Because I
money.
actually find that to be so useful, and the reason why I say that is like every bridge UI is very different, and there's like
Yeah,
multiple
yeah,
connect wallets, and there's like 5 or 6 different types of wallets that you can connect if it's like multi-chain, and then it's like, am I sending the right asset? Am I sending the right ETH to the right chain?
yeah.
It's super overwhelming. Like I can't imagine my gran or my mom having a fun time trying to bridge assets to Fuel.
No,
So like if they just prompt it
no.
and the agent just picks up what your balance is from whatever chain it is, they could just do the
Yeah,
thing, and let my granny
yeah,
be a degen. That's huge.
yeah. And in those cases, this is a very rudimentary demo. It's really basic. But think of a really friendly interface on mobile, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Something that if like eventually, if we give enough time to it and if we train it well enough, you can just talk to this agent that, hey, I want to do this. Like imagine amongst all of that from uh whatever that happened, the chaos. You just wanted to buy Trump, but I don't want to like make sure my transaction goes through, like how like set things up. The agent can do that. Like it's just code at the end of the day. You are setting fees to a really high level, And if you imagine just telling an agent, hey, I want to buy this coin, I want to buy Green Trump right now. I don't care what it takes, just set fees to the max. Just buy.
Market buy, just market buy, dude.
Yeah,
Slippage at 20% or something. I don't care.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, alluding to what you said about having a more friendly user interface, I'm gonna share some alpha. Like this is not something that we ended up releasing, but this is something we worked on. Is an interface like this, and I think on mobile it will be super useful. I'm just gonna.
Just by the way, everybody, I have not seen this before, so I'm seeing it for the first time as well. This is
Yeah,
pretty insane.
I
Yeah,
don't think
even capital
anyone.
capital alpha above the prompt as well, so that's when you know.
Yeah. So an interface like this for Fuel, like on mobile, I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to share this, but this was we did not end up releasing it, but it's out there, so I thought might as well show it off. So again, it's very basic, but think of it. I see the best use case for this in a mobile setting. If you have a Fuel wallet on mobile. And you can just do anything you want in this text box. Like I can ask it what a UTXO is, or I can ask it, hey, I want to swap 5 USDC for you.
So maybe like a cool one would be like when this is on mobile, like you have like a voice to text prompt, or it can be like directly interpreting the voice, and you can say like, hey, send 100 USDC to the wallet with the domain name of
Yeah,
Harry, and then it'll
yeah,
pick up that domain name or that domain on the chain, whether it's a Baku ID or an ENS domain, and it can essentially send it over. That's insane,
yeah.
dude.
And the cool thing is with if we integrate a bridging solution, you can send money to another chain as well. And all of the DeFi
Crazy.
strategies that we discussed, they can be cross-chain strategies. I mean, scripts are limited to Fuel, but let's say you only want to run a script once you do something on some other chain,
Yeah, yeah.
you can do that. Yeah.
I'm just thinking about a normie that has no idea how to run, create, basically create or run an arbitrage bot. But they can see that there's a price discrepancy between different exchanges for a single asset on different chains, or even on a centralized exchange, and they could just
Mm.
basically use an agent kit to arbitrage the difference. And once it hits a certain point, then it can either stop. But like, I mean, I'm the normie. I don't know how to run an arbitrage bot. Like, if you can build this for
Yeah.
me, that'd be huge, and then I can retire tomorrow.
Yeah. So the agent kit lets people build all of these UIs for these solutions, right? To essentially make them more available to people who don't have technical knowledge or coding expertise. Even
Yeah.
I haven't written an arbitrage bot, so I would love to see something like that out there. But the agent kit provides the fundamentals
Yeah.
that lets you build those things. So
Um,
yeah.
so maybe just diving into like some really thick technical things. Like right now, fuel's a high throughput right up on top of Ethereum. We use Ethereum 50A as well.
Mm.
We have a couple of other high throughput chains. You've got your Mega ETHs and Monads that are coming into the fold.
Mm.
And even Solana boasting, their million TPS that they're trying to push for. In layman's terms, like as simply as possible, how would Fuel Redacted be a better environment for block space and everything AI in relation to ignition, or just the state of other chains, for example, just so that other people can understand the possibilities of that versus what we have now.
Oh, I mean, right off the bat, uh, Redacted is gonna be doing at least 150,000 TPS, uh, which blows everything else out of the water pretty much. I think Mega ETH is aiming for 100,000, Monad 10,000. Those two are the closest I can think of on Ethereum. So first of all, right away, you just have more throughput. There's more things that you can do. I think this is not a problem right now if you think about it, because even amongst all of the Trump chaos, Solana only hit like 2000 TPS, 1500 TPS. So you might be thinking, hey, who needs 150,000 TPS? But as more and more of these AI solutions are built, everyone's going to be running these bots, everyone's going to be running these strategies. It's just going to be at one point, I even feel like 50% of the users or most of the users on chain are going to be AI agents. And they can do way more transactions than 2000 per second. That's where that's where we'll
Yeah.
need 150,000 transactions on
So
Ethereum. Ethereum cannot do that right now.
yeah, insane. Um, wow. Okay. Well, that makes complete sense. I think it's just like the race to who can meet the demand of what AI agents will want eventually. Um, but that's insane, dude. I'll let you carry on with the last couple of pieces of the presentation. But
Sure.
yeah, everybody, just so you know, yeah, watch out for redacted coming for your vanity metrics.
Oh yeah. So the last piece I wanted to talk about is the integrations we have with projects in this space. You must have heard of Eliza. So if you happen to already use Eliza for one of your projects, you must have seen all of those Twitter accounts that run on Eliza, the and you can just go to the repo, browse down, and that's the Fuel plugin. You can use it to do essentially anything you want on Fuel as well. How I would use this is this lets you create a wallet on Fuel, and once you have the wallet, you can use all of these functions. And now your Twitter AI agent can even do swaps for people if you configure it in a safe way. Uh, let's say it can do swaps for a certain number of accounts that you have whitelisted. It can do that because through the agent kit and Eliza. Or if you want to build cross-chain agent, one of the things I mentioned was you want to do something when something happens on some other chain, and then you want to do something on Fuel, you have Goat. Goat has integrations with, let's have a look here. Goat has all of these plugins that you can use. If you want to do anything on any of these chains or protocols, use these plugins. And we have Fuel in there as well. Let me just show you quickly where we are here. So you can, again, just like Eliza, you can initialize a Fuel wallet, connect it with the agent kit, and just do whatever you want. The nice thing about Goat is it's available on Eliza as a plugin as well. So you can use the Fuel agent kit with Goat and Eliza if you really want to make a truly cross-chain crypto agent. So honestly, the sky is the limit. It's just you who like it's up to your imagination what you want to do with it. Uh,
To me, man,
Yeah.
this is like this to me is the closest to the best chain abstraction experience that I can see. Like I know there's a lot of
Yeah.
other teams that are working on chain abstraction and focusing on it, but this like completely leapfrogs it. Like you can literally build the most simplest front end for the most simplest user and do the most complex things in the background and just give them the dopamine kick of number go up or like things
Yeah.
are things are happening and like they will use it. Like that's like if it's in your pocket in your mobile and you literally do that, like that is the wildest direction and probably the fastest improvement that I've seen from a user experience that we can achieve at least in Web3. And now in Fuel, like at a fraction of the cost, we're basically near zero if I might just brag a little bit. So yeah, that's
Oh
insane.
yeah. I didn't even touch upon that, but I really want to put emphasis on that. You can not only do multiple things in one transaction, but that transaction is gonna cost nothing compared to all of the other Ethereum chains or any other chain as well. Like things like, I mean, creating a multi-sig is free. It's free, like you don't pay anything. and it's on chain. Well, technically not, but yes, yeah. Predicates are actually never created. I'll let you go through the docs for that. But yeah, you don't pay anything because you don't create anything.
That's
So yeah,
amazing.
Fuel just makes the VM, the chain just makes so much sense for AI agents. Like you said, it just provides the best abstraction framework and lets people build all of these super powerful abstractions for end users. And mobile is really where I see some re interesting use cases for this in the coming months.
Yeah, man. Well, like, to be honest, like my gran has constantly asked me about what I do, and I try and explain it. I would love it to actually get it to the point where the UX is so good that she ends up like doing a full blown looping strategy and making a couple of dollars with just pushing a few buttons on
Oh
on
yeah,
her on front. That'll be huge. Guy,
exactly.
this has been a phenomenal stream, dude. Like, I think we should do this like all the time. I think maybe even diving into how you made transactions perceivably quicker for the user. Like, you recently released that into the SDK with the SDK teams as well. So diving into that will be another thing. But maybe before we close off, do you have any closing remarks or anything that you would want to kind of point out or hint at to the people that are watching today?
Sure. Uh, I think one of the things I want to touch upon is how someone can actually use this. So, uh, you can either go to this repo, Fuel Agent Kit and Fuel Labs. I think we have links for this on the Twitter or on the stream as well. But we have docs for this. Click this link. We have like some decent amount of documentation for all of these methods. Go and see what you can build using it. We have this demo as well that we shared on our Twitter last week. Not even last week, I think 3 or 4 days ago. You can go ahead and try this out as well. Just be careful, don't put too much money into it. It's still early days. So it's real money, it's mainnet. Make sure you back up your private key. If you do put any money into it, it's just stored in your local storage. We don't store anything. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Check out Eliza and Goat. Uh, you can reach out to me personally on Twitter or post on our forum, and we'll make sure we support with anything you might need in order to build an agent. If you have a really interesting idea, you can do the same as well. Just reach out to us, and we'd love to help you out to see it come to fruition. Um, and just watch this space because we are coming out with more integrations, more features for the agent kit, and yeah, just more
If you
things will be. Yeah.
if you wouldn't mind, maybe just showing your Twitter profile or your handle, that'd
Oh,
be
sure,
easier for people to follow you.
sure.
Um,
That's me. Die.eth. You can message me directly if you have any ideas, and I'd love to help you out. I'd love to see what people can build using Fuel. We are exploring some ideas in-house as well, like the one I showed you, which was never released. So that's just some alpha. I'm not even sure if I'm allowed to share that, but yeah, there you go.
we'll
Um,
deal with it later. We'll deal with
yeah,
the backlash later.
yeah,
Amazing. Well, Jai, thanks again for your time, dude. We'll definitely be back on with another one. I think just for some closing remarks, everybody. So we'll be doing these streams a lot. There's going to be a lot of things within the ecosystem, new projects that are going to be presenting what they're up to. But most of these types of streams where I'm going to be playing the dumb guy, it's for a reason. It's because we understand that our stack is as good as it is, it's still really complicated. So we're going to try and like really simplify these concepts for most people to understand, so they can realize the value that we're trying to provide for you. And again, like, this will be like an open forum for people to ask questions and find out like further details after the stream. So stay tuned for the next one. And yeah, thank you again for joining us, and we'll catch you next week. Cheers, everyone.
cheers, guys.